Hi, I'm Nora, and I'm a sugar addict. I have certain triggers that makes me run for sugar. So let's dive into this and see what made me fall off the keto bandwagon. Hi, I'm Nora, and you're watching Nori Lori's Keto and Health. As you've seen from my intro, I fell off the bandwagon for keto. I didn't just fall, I face planted onto very hard ground, and I didn't get up running, I got up crawling to sugar. Yeah, I've lived the last 25 days off in sugar and fast food. I have not cooked a meal in my house in 25 days. That's the hard truth. The one thing is when you're addicted to sugars or certain foods, it's really hard to gain control because you can't give up food. You have to have food to survive. So it is a struggle, and I'm not going to downgrade any addiction, okay? Because with addiction, you're either in control or you're not. There is no middle ground. There is no semi-control. There is no gaining control. You either get control one day and say that's enough, or you don't care and you give into it. And even when you choose to give into that addicting behavior, it is still a choice, and you still have control up to that time to make that decision. I'm not downplaying any addiction out there. I'm not. Be you addicted to sugar, alcohol, or anything harder. And there's lots of different addictions out there. There's triggers that trigger the addictive behavior. And unfortunately with life is full of triggers, and you're never going to get away from those triggers 100%, because that's just how life is. It is always going to present those triggers. You just learn, hopefully, new coping mechanisms so that you make better choices or make it easier to help you stay in control. Now, if you've been watching my channel for a little bit, or if you back up and watch some of my last videos, the last 2 months I have been struggling with grief. I lost my husband unexpectedly in January. And a lot of people would say, well, yeah, it would be okay if you lost control and you gave into some emotional eating. That is a very overwhelming experience. And it is. Not only that, but let's talk about some of the whys, okay? So not only was I dealing with grief in the sudden loss of my husband, my life literally turned upside down in a matter of a couple of hours. But also, his death presented me with a lot of financial debt. Yes, we have life insurance, but I didn't know when the life insurance was going to come in. So that was weighing very heavily on my mind and was very overwhelming. Also, I took on a new job, and I work a lot of hours, and it was very unpredictable for me. I didn't, we work a lot of hours, and I also drive our team to a lot of these jobs, and sometimes they're almost up to 3 hours away one way. And so that's my thing. When I lose, I like to be in control and predict outcomes. If I lose one aspect but have the other, I do okay. When I lose both, that's when it makes it easier for me to give in to life triggers. And I did lose both. I lost predictability and I lost control. And I talked about that I was having a lot of cravings, and I knew I could give into some emotional eating. I talked about it because I'm very real with you, and I did. I had a very stressful day one day at work, and I made the conscious decision to get some fast food. And then I made that same decision the next night. And when I fell hard. And I ran for sugar. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I lived on sugar for 25 days. I've not cooked a meal in my home in 25 days. And I've got to do better. And I'm going to do better. So how am I feeling? But before we talk about how I'm feeling, I'm going to go ahead and insert my weigh-in. My last weigh-in from week 28 and my weigh-in from this week, which we're on week 32. Let's do that. Okay. I'm not ashamed. I'm not frustrated with myself. I fell, and now I'm picking myself up. We need to have grace with ourselves when things like this arise, because they're going to arise. We're going to fall. And the most important things is that we pick ourselves back up. So we need to have grace with ourselves. Nobody can be harder on ourselves than we are. But in certain circumstances like this, being hard on ourselves is not the thing that we need to do. We need to approach ourselves with grace and love and forgiveness so that we can pick ourselves up the right way and get back on track. So, how am I feeling? Well, I'm feeling like crap. I have over 20 pounds of inflammation on my body and probably some fat too. All my joints hurt. My ankles, my knees, my hips, and my fingers. If I get a lot of sleep, so let's say I'm off on the weekend and I get a lot of sleep, I wake up with my hands numb. Oh, it's an amazing feeling. I like being numb. I don't. Sarcasm. If I didn't know better, I would say that I had arthritis in my fingers. They hurt that bad. They're swollen and they hurt, especially my pinkies hurt. And I would say I have arthritis. I do not, and I know I don't. It's all inflammation. Inflammation loves to go to your joints because your joints are filled with fluid to begin with. So that's one of the first places that they go to is your joints, and then they fill in around your fat and stuff like that. So, your legs feel heavier, your arms feel heavier, and then they're filled with fluid. So yeah, I feel like crap. I don't like feeling like crap, and even though I wake up feeling like crap, I'm like, oh, but I really want those sour gummy worms. Yeah, that's one of my sugary things that I really love. So all I can do from here is make a plan. And I've made game plans before. I've talked about them on the videos as I was slowly showing you I was losing control but didn't realize it. So now that I've been working for 2 months, 2 months now, I have a lot more awareness of how my job goes, how long it's going to take us to do our jobs with the crew that we have. We have new crews, so it does take us a little bit longer. And so I do have some predictability now to the job. So certain days of the week, it's just I'm going to have to take food with me so that I can stay on track. I did order some supplements for me, my electrolytes. I also ordered some stuff from Perfect Keto to kind of help me bridge that gap. And I even went and ordered me some keto chow to try because those are actual meal replacements. and that might be easier for me to do on a couple of days during the week. So I am formulating a game plan. I don't have a 100% game plan, and it's going to be a lot of trial and error. Please just stick with me. This is real life, and I'm bringing it to you. My chaos. You're welcome. But I am also going to film my first week and what I do to get back on keto. If I slip, I'm going to be real with you. I'm going to show you that. I'm going to do a daily weigh-in so that you can see what I'm losing according to what I'm doing. Today is Sunday. This is coming out tomorrow. I am going to do some meal prepping. I'm probably going to be making some Wonder Bread. I lost my train of thought. Chaffles, that's it. Some Wonder Bread chaffles, so that I can take some deli ham. Now is it the best choice now? But I gotta have something for the days that I do lows, because those are my longest days, and that it just makes it a little bit easier for me. So this is kind of my game plan going forwards, and I do hope to get a lot more regular and bring you some more content. I have had some really good questions, people responding to my videos and stuff, and I'm going to address those coming up. And one of those that I'm going to address is going to be using the Keto Mojo, and this is something a lot of YouTubers that do keto, that use Keto Mojo, don't show, and that's using the control solution to make sure that your machine is actually giving you accurate readings. And so I will probably use a product, and we're going to show that my machine is where it needs to be, so that we know that I'm giving an accurate glucose or ketone readings. So I think that's going to be really fun, and it's also a part of that aspect of keeping it real. A lot of people don't show that because some people are not interested in that. They just assume that you know your trends and that you know that that's all correct, or they don't think about that aspect. But that was a really great statement. It wasn't even a question. It was a statement to me, and I think it's a really good idea. So I am going to address that here in the future. But until then, this is my update. As you know, if you don't get started on your journey and you overcomplicate it, you're not going to get started. So pick a meat, pick a fat, pick a vegetable too, and just get started, because you can critique it as you go. And I am going to follow my own advice, and I'm going to pick a meat. I'm going to pick a fat for my first meal, and my second meal, pick a meat, pick a fat, and pick a vegetable. And I'm going to get started back on my crazy keto journey that you all are coming along with me with. See you all next time.